Yeah. Hello, guys. If you're joining us now, you're welcome to this event. I appreciate you for joining. Okay, so you can kindly just drop a comment for us to know that you're here to indicate your presence. Okay. Uh, okay, so Pretty, I see you. Victor Abraham, I see you. You're welcome. So we have our guest speakers ready, and any moment from now, we're going to start. So if you're here on the live, you can simply just indicate by commenting. Okay, for those of us on Facebook Live, you can simply follow the link I'm going to post right now. I hope you guys can hear me. If you can hear me, type you can hear me. Can you guys hear me? Good. If you're on Facebook Live, I'm going to post a link right now. You're going to join us on YouTube. We're supposed to stream from both platforms, but if you're on Facebook, you're not going to get the actual feel of the event. So I will advise you go to YouTube and join us from YouTube. Okay. Okay, I just posted a link on the Facebook Live now. So you can just click on that link to join us on YouTube. Okay, before we start properly. Okay, kindly use the link from Facebook Live to join us on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, simply comment so that we'll know that you're with us. God, when we see you. Okay, greetings to you too, FA Power. Kindly use the link to join us on YouTube and comment on YouTube. Okay, so Okay, if you are just joining us now, you can click on the link from the Facebook page and join us on YouTube. Okay, in the next 5 minutes, we're going to start properly. This is 7:25. In the next 5 minutes, we're going to start properly. So just comment on YouTube so that we know that you're live with us. Okay, can you guys hear me? If you hear me, just type you hear me. Just type you hear me. If you can hear me very well, type you hear me on the comments. If you're on YouTube and you can hear me very well, type you hear me on the comments. Okay, can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, if you're on YouTube and you can hear me, you hear me. Type I can hear you on YouTube. Just type I can hear you on YouTube. Okay. So if you can hear me on YouTube, and let's start. If you can hear me, just type the comments so I can hear you. Yeah, good evening, Shudi. You can kindly join using the link I pinned on the Facebook Live. Join on YouTube. Okay. Join us on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, sorry, join us on YouTube to have the proper feel of this event. Okay, if you're joining us now, just click on the link to join us on YouTube. And if you can hear me, type you can hear me. Okay. Thank you, Gordon. So, So let's begin. Okay. So good evening, everyone. From here, wherever you're watching, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're watching us from right now. Okay. You're welcome to this event, and there's a very powerful event that we'll put together to help enlighten those people that are interested in taking up a career in IT in this new year 2025. Okay, so if you are just joining us now, you're welcome. If you're joining us from Facebook Live, you can simply click on the link I shared on the Facebook Live to join us on YouTube. Okay, so if you join us on YouTube, you'll be able to hear our guest speakers very well. Okay, so from Facebook, you might not be able to hear our guest speakers. So we are very sorry. We tend to stream on both platforms, but due to some technical glitches that we encountered earlier on, we couldn't connect to Facebook properly. So we hope in our subsequent meetings, we're going to connect to Facebook properly so that we can actually, listen to them from both ends. Okay. So right now, I have my guest speakers currently uh, in this event right now. So for today, before I introduce my guest speakers, I'm going to first of all give a breakdown of the event for those of us that don't really understand. I've gotten a lot of questions about how the event is planned. Okay, so let me just first of all give a brief introduction on how the event is going to hold. Okay, so this is an event that is going to hold for 6 days. Starting today, we've already started. We intend to do the event for 6 days, and those 6 days will be 3 weekends. Okay, it will be on Saturdays and Sundays. Okay, Saturdays and Sundays, and by 7 p.m. West African time. 7 p.m. West African time. Okay, so generally, what the event is all about is guiding for those people that are interested in building a career in tech, and not just those people that are just coming or that intend to come into career. There are some people that are already into tech, but they still have some confusion about what to do and how to do it, and the best way to go about some certain challenges that they might face in tech. Okay, so that is actually the reason why we organize this event. Okay, so if you're just joining us, please, you can simply just comment so that we know that yes, you're present, you're with us here. Okay, and if you're joining us on Facebook, please you can use the link on Facebook to go to YouTube so that you participate in the event fully. Okay, so now for today, we're going to do an overview. Today meeting is just an overview on how you can start a tech career. Okay, we're going to look at different things about different careers, what the tech is generally, what tech is generally. We're going to explore different tech careers, the roles we're going to play in these various tech fields. Okay, then what are the challenges that you are going to, encounter, and how you can overcome those challenges. Okay, so those are the things that we're going to be talking about in today's event. Okay, now just like an overview of everything we're going to do for the 6 days. That's what we're going to talk about today. An overview of everything we're going to do for the 6 days. So after we talk about the whole thing today, just highlight some of these tech fields and their roles, the roles that you play in them, how to start this career. Now, subsequent days, we're going to pick each field. Okay, that means if we pick a particular field, we'll have an industry expert in that particular field talk about everything you need to know in that field. Okay, everything you need to know in that field. Okay, that means, for example, if we are talking about AI automation, we're going to bring an expert that will tell us everything you need to know about AI automation, how you can start AI automation, and how you can excel in it. If you're talking about software engineering, we're going to bring an expert that will talk about software engineering and everything you need to know in software engineering. Okay, so that's how we're going to that's how we organize the event. Okay, but for today, it's just a highlight of the whole fields. Okay, the the whole field that we're going to be looking at. Okay, so if you're just joining us now, if you're on Facebook, please use the link on the Facebook Live to navigate straight to YouTube. Okay, because if you're on Facebook, we're sorry, you cannot really participate fully on the event because our guest speakers, you only hear them on YouTube when they will be speaking to us. Okay, so for today event, our guest speakers for today event, we have two esteemed guest speakers that we're going to introduce to us now. Okay. The first person I'm going to introduce to us is a friend, an expert, and a full stack developer, a software engineer, and have over a decade experience in the field. Is no other person that Mr. Miles Odiaze. Okay, so Mr. Miles Odiaze, if you are with us, please you can simply greet the audience. Okay.
Yeah, good evening, guys. How are you doing? Thanks
Doing
for
great.
yeah.
If you can hear him, you can simply. Okay, I want this live to be interactive. I want it to be interactive, very very interactive, so that at least we know that we are interacting with the audience. Okay, so if you are with us on the YouTube live, please kindly just type you can hear us, or you can just give us an emojis. Okay, then if you're on Facebook live watching right now, please kindly switch to YouTube. Kindly switch to YouTube and comment for us to see that you're present, you're with us. Okay, if you're on Facebook, I can see Mr. Efa is on Facebook. I can see Mr. Chigozie on Facebook. Onyeka Chukwu just joined us on Facebook now. Okay, so please kindly join us on YouTube, please. Okay, so join us on YouTube and comment so that we know that you're with us here on YouTube. Okay, so our second guest uh, is a brother, someone I love so much. Is one of the person I call the mirror of myself. Okay, and someone that has done well for himself also in the IT, a CEO and a software developer. Okay, of Light Resort Services Port Harcourt. It's no other person that Mr. Noble Okechi. So, Mr. Noble, if you're with us, you can simply, you know, talk to the audience. Let them know that you're with us. Hello, Mr. Noble, are you there?
Oh my God.
Yes. Mr.
Hello.
Noble, yes, we can hear you. Yes, we
Please.
can hear you
Okay, you
now.
can hear me. All right. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Um,
Yeah.
it's nice to be part of this program today. I'm really really excited to be here today. Thank you.
Okay. So, Noble, you're highly welcome, and Mr. Miles, you're highly welcome. Okay. First of all, I must
Yeah, thank you very
I must thank you guys very much for agreeing to educate us today. Okay. So let's go straight to the point. Okay, while we are here. Okay. So as we're diving straight into it, please, for those of us that are just joining us on Facebook, we're sorry that you might not be able to participate fully in the event if you're on Facebook, fully on Facebook. So kindly join us on YouTube. Kindly join us on YouTube using the link. If you're on Facebook right now, kindly join us on YouTube and make a comment there on YouTube so that we know that yes, you're with us. Okay. So now, like I said, I've given an overview of what the event is all about. So we're going to start by talking about the tech industry. Okay, the tech industry. That is what we're going to start for. And I want Mr. Miles to actually, do justice to that. Tell us more about the tech industry, because if we are starting a career in tech, we must first of all understand the tech industry so that we are going into it. We know what we're going. Miles, can you please, you have the floor.
All right, thank you very much for the opportunity to talk to you guys about tech. So the first things first is as newbies, yeah, when you hear about tech, the first thing that should come to your mind is not about hitting buttons on the laptop, hitting keys and keystrokes and all of that. When you hear about tech, the thing that should come to your mind is solutions, problem solving. Yeah. So this mindset you will have about problem solving is where you will now bring in what tools do you want to use in solving the problem. Yeah. So that's just a summary about tech. So it can be a problem that will require writing raw codes. It can be a problem that will require, like it is now, maybe prompt engineering. It can be a problem that will require for you to analyze some data. It can be a problem that used to solve different kind of problems. Yeah. So anytime you hear tech, you hear tech this, tech that, everything is just streamlined down to problem solving. Tech is a global name. Yeah, tech stands for technology. Yeah. So technology used in solving problems, because technology is not something that we just do for the fun of it. Yeah. We do it for giving optimal solutions, solving problems to make lives easier for ourselves. So it's very important that anytime you think tech, the first thing that should come to your mind is what problem do you want to solve? Yeah. So that's what should come to mind.
Okay. So tech means problem. So whenever you think tech, you think problem. Thank you very, very much for that.
Problem solving. Problem solving.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, that's actually what was on my mind. So problem solving, yeah, like what you said, problem solving. So for those of us that are coming into tech for the first time, we've heard from a professional saying, whenever you think tech, you think problem solving. Then, please, if I would like to ask, for those of us that are already in tech, there are some people that are already in tech, doing one thing or the other, because there are a lot of people that are joining us right now. I don't know where they are joining us from, but when we look at Nigeria as a case study, a lot of us join maybe because maybe we had someone is doing this, and we just jump into it without understanding what it actually is. Okay, so if we are not newbies, we are into it. do you have any other way, you can, define tech, you know, for those of us that are into it, but we don't really know if we're actually doing things right in it. Okay, I don't know if you understand my question.
Yes, yes, I do. I do very well.
So
So,
now,
yeah, I understand what you're saying. So this question will also help those who are newbies, yeah, so that they can understand what they are really up against in the long run. The thing is, yeah, I gave the first illustration I gave about tech is like the holistic view. But if you want to pinpoint it in a nutshell, it's just when I say problem solving, it means using technology to give optimal solutions, right? So let me say, for example, you are a newbie in tech, and you are just maybe, let's say, for instance, going around learning the basics of maybe HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and all of that, right? So when you're learning those things, you're not just learning them to just be able to know how to write those keys and the syntax and the semantics and all of that. You're actually learning that to use it to do something. So that word, that clause there, do something with what you're learning, is you're using it to solve, you're going to use it to solve a problem, right? So when you are going into tech, yes, you're a newbie, maybe you start hearing we have to do HTML, CS, you have to do JavaScript, you have to do Python, you have to do this and that. Yes, you're learning those tools, but you're not just learning it just for the fun of it. Yeah. Though yes, some of us do tech to just for the hobby to know how things work around the computer, right? But the main reason for tech is solving problems. So these tools you're learning as a beginner, you need to put your mind that after learning this thing, even in the process of learning it, yeah, you know that you're going to use what you're learning to actually solve a problem. Okay, let me take for instance the normal web design that we all learn. That's the one that is most general, right? Web design, you go into HTML, JavaScript, and all this and that. So solving a problem can be maybe for yourself. You can even use yourself as a case study. Yeah, maybe you are selling some stuff. You are going to your friends, I sell this and sell that and this. That's the manual way of doing it. So bringing tech into it, giving it the solution of automating your sales. Maybe put up some things to show people what you're doing, your product, and all that. Yeah. So you've used the tech that you're learning into bringing solutions, and that solutions is like giving yourself the platform for wider view, right? That's just a case study, just a very concise case study. Not that that's what it is, but it's just when you hear tech solutions, optimal solutions, that's what I'm talking
oh,
about. So you should have that in mind doing
okay,
in the coming.
that is clear,
Yeah.
very, very clear. Okay. So if you're just joining us now and you're on Facebook, please kindly click on the link to join us on YouTube because you might not be able to participate fully from Facebook. Okay, we're sorry about that. So just join us on YouTube. Okay. So the message is very, very clear. If you are a newbie and you want to come into tech, you should just know that irrespective of the field that you're going into, you're trying to solve a problem. Okay. Then, if you're already into tech for any reason that you are confused, you should just know that if you are not yet solving a problem, you've not started in tech. Okay, that is what Mr. Miles have given us to digest this evening. If you are not yet solving problem, whether you are doing anything at all, you've not started. So when you start, you start solving problem, then you know that yes, I've started working in maybe a tech industry or doing something that is related to tech. Thank you very much for that clear and concise definition of what tech is. And one more thing I like you to tell us because some of the and though we are going to discuss most of them, but I just want you to just tell us some of the trending you know tech domain, that is the domain that we can look into. Okay. in tech before we go further? I know we're going to discuss most of them, but I just want you to give us an overview of some of them.
All right, all right. Yeah, so when we hear tech solutions and we hear the tools for tech, these tools for tech are categorized into domains, as you call them. Yeah, so we like the domains we are hearing, you can hear like web development, you can hear mobile development, you can hear UI UX. Yeah, so most people say when you see a person say their own domain is software engineering. Yeah, so when you talk about software engineering, you talk about a person who knows the blueprint of the start to the finish of anything concerning software. That's who a software engineer is. And a software engineer must be a person that already knows web development, mobile development, both the front end and the back end. You are the engineer. Yeah. It's a whole different ball game from a software developer. Yeah. So the domains I can drop, though there are a lot of them. Now that AI has come up, there are a lot of domains coming up day by day. Yeah, the one I heard of that is beating the market now is one we call prompt engineering. It's now a full domain. It's now a full blown domain, prompt engineering. So we have, like I said before, web development, we have mobile development, we have UI UX, we have cybersecurity, we have data science, we have data analysis. Yeah, we have machine learning. Yeah, these are the domains. There is a lot more. Yeah, that you can choose from.
Okay,
All right, but it depends on what you really want to do and the part you want to play in the optimal solution in the industry that takes you to where you want your domain to be. I think
okay,
that's what I can give for
okay,
that. Yeah.
okay. Thank you very much for that. Yes, if you're just joining us, if you joined us from Facebook, please, if you join us on Facebook and on Facebook right now, please go to YouTube. Use the link there to go to YouTube, please. So for you to participate fully in this event, okay? So now we've talked about some certain things already, which is we've defined what tech is generally, and we've listed some domain. Now, the main bone of contention is how we go into tech. If you want to, go into any of this, okay. Now there are some certain steps that you should take, okay. There are some certain steps that you should take. I would like Mr. Noble to come in here to tell us, to enlighten us more, because from my little knowledge, I know that the first thing is to, first of all, understand your strengths. Mr. Noble to come in here to tell us how or what it means to understand your strengths and assess yourself before going into tech. Okay, Mr. Noble, please, you can you know give us more info on this.
All right. Okay. So what it actually means by understanding your strengths, like Mike's what just said, he pointed out some domains in tech. Now, in our current in the current situation, currently, there are a lot of yes, I've seen a lot of people, a lot of newbies trying to move into tech. Now, some of them make the mistake of not making proper research of the actual skill they really want to go into. Now, at the end of the day, you see, you maybe, let's say, after 1 or 2 years, you find out that maybe some of them would maybe they'll have to switch or maybe look for something else. Some of them automatically maybe give up. But it's very important for you to understand your strength in such a way that let's use a practical example. let's say as a fashion designer, let's say you wake up one morning and maybe you've read a lot of things about tech and you want to dive into tech. First thing first, it's advisable, it's advised that you check your strengths. Maybe you check how good are you in solving problems. Maybe just check your interest also. But if for me as a fashion designer that is trying to dive into tech, already you know about colors already, you know how to maybe different colors and all the rest. So it's kind of advisable that maybe for someone like that going into maybe let's say UI UX design or something like maybe front end design would really be nice. So this is just you understanding your strengths, like knowing the um particular domain that can fit in with what you have already, and check your know your strengths. Maybe not like you're moving into let's say into tech domain like coding, whereby you don't really have any basic foundation, let's say in coding or in normal school mathematics, or maybe you're not good you're not a critical thinker. Let me use that. So you're not good in thinking, you're not good in logics. So for someone like that, you find out that at the end of the day, you might give up. So first thing first, you need to understand your strengths. Is very important. Then know your interest. So it's always advisable for you to look for a tech domain that is similar to what you've been doing previously. It's just like you trying to maybe transit from something that you've been doing before to something similar. Okay. So then also check the one you check also check your passion, and just check your passion also. You know, a lot of us today, yet one of the issues that we are facing in tech today is I think is passion and the pay. So a lot of people today move into different tech domains, not because of the passion, but because of the pay. So in a situation whereby you're not good, you don't have enough passion for that particular tech domain, and maybe at some point your expectation on based on the pay fails, you find out that you might backslide or you might give up. Okay. So that's all I have to say on this for now.
Okay.
Okay.
So in a nutshell, you should first of all assess
Exactly.
yourself to identify what you're good at. So when you
Exactly.
check what you're good at, then you check the particular career that fits in that fits into what you like to do. Okay. Okay. What about if
Exactly.
I'm to ask? What about there are some people that they might have heard of this tech career, they don't, they've not done anything related to it before. You understand? Now, what's your advice for those kind of people? Because let's take, for instance, now, use a practical example like a graphic designer now. Someone that is good with, designs, might not really be with computers, maybe designs outside the computer domain. You can easily say, okay, if that kind of person wants to come into IT, he can go into any of these design fields. You understand? But what about someone that doesn't have any knowledge related to maybe any of these? Okay, is it, you know what would be your advice for that person? Okay, so before you answer, if you are just joining us on Facebook now, kindly use the link below, use the link that I pinned on the Facebook Live to join us on YouTube to fully participate in this event, please. Okay, we're sorry we're supposed to stream from both ends, but due to some technical glitches that we encountered earlier on, we couldn't stream from Facebook directly. So you can simply use that link if you're on Facebook. I greet you, sir. I can see you, Mr. Facebook Sam. I can see you, Mrs. Sandra. Okay, kindly join us on YouTube. Okay, using the link from that Facebook. Okay, thank you very much. So, Mr. Noble, you can continue. And if you are just joining us on YouTube, kindly comment so that we'll notice your presence, please.
All right. Okay. So for someone that have not really done anything, let's say have any let's say any experience that he or she can maybe convert, maybe use in transiting into tech yet, or maybe someone that has zero knowledge and you want to go into tech and you're kind of confused on how to start. Now, there are different ways that you can start up. Now, first thing first, you can, let's say, you can start with researches. Now, if peradventure you go today and maybe you, let's say the person goes to YouTube or Google, maybe you try to like maybe search different tech careers. I believe you have different what's it called, different solutions. Now, if
Solution,
you're making research, so one of them is research. So with a proper research on yourself on the internet, you should be able to find out a tech career that can suit your interest or passion. That's number
yeah,
one. Then
yeah,
number two, you can maybe look for someone that has been in the game already. Look for possibly a mentor. It might not really be a mentor, but you can just look for someone that has been in tech already. It's just like you trying to have, maybe it's either you maybe free consultation, or maybe possibly you can maybe just tip this person to have some basic conversation with the person. Now, through the conversation, you can ask your questions, and at the end of the day, I, possibly you have a lot of questions to ask. So at the end of the day, you probably get the answers that you need. So the second one now is mentorship. So with a proper, maybe meeting a mentor or maybe consulting an expert in tech already, in the tech field, you should be able to have a clear view of how to start up your tech career, which is very, very important. Today, I advise a lot of people, before you start up a tech career, it's very important that you make proper research. Maybe don't start up based on what you see on the internet today, or maybe you start up a tech career based on the fact that maybe someone you know is doing this, maybe someone you know is coding. Then because of that, you just want to dive into coding, or maybe because of what they are earning. It's always advisable for you to make a proper research, and also look for a mentor to talk to, or an expert to talk to.
okay, thank you very,
Yes.
very, very much. I think you've done justice to that. Okay, so in a nutshell, what Mr. Noble is actually advising us right now, which is the right and the absolute answer to that question, is for us to first of all understand our strengths. Okay, if you're just joining us on Facebook now, we are sorry. You can simply click on that link to switch to YouTube, okay, and participate. Okay, so if you're on YouTube, you can simply just make a comment for us to notice your presence. Okay. So now the thing is, from what our guest speaker just said, it is very, very necessary for you to assess yourself whenever you want to take any career. Okay. Assess yourself, identify your strengths, what you can do. And that assessment and identify yourself, it's not just all about your domain, maybe the domain you're very, very few with. If you have a domain like that that is related to the particular tech field you are going into, is a plus, and it's going to make your transitioning very, very easy. But if maybe what you are used to and what you are about to go into in tech is two different things, okay, what you just need to do is to first of all make a proper research on that particular field. Okay, it might not really be one particular field. Let me just add this because sometimes when we are trying to find our way in tech, there are a lot of questions like, okay, what are the fields I want to go into rather? Okay, what are the fields that we want to go into? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? Do I want to do this? Okay, so for you to find your fields in any one you want to go into, you first of all need to research all of them. Okay, so if not all, you can just pick the ones you feel you are interested in. Okay, that means identify your interest. Okay, pick those ones that you are interested in, then make the proper research on them. Okay, and those research can also involve you seeking for mentorship. Okay, that means you need to seek for mentorship, someone already in that field that can tell you everything you need to know about that particular tech field. Okay, so when that person will just be like a guide. So when that person tell you, okay, this and this is what is involved in this particular tech field, now you know what to say. Okay, if I can be able to do it from what the person will tell you and from the research you've done so far, you'll be able to know that okay, this is this and this is that. So you, with that now you can differentiate. Okay, I will be more compatible to this field, or I will be more compatible with this field. Okay, so I believe that is everything you said, Mr. Noble. Okay, thank you very much.
Exactly, sir.
Thank you very, very, very much for doing justice to that. So, the next thing we're going to now look at is exploring the various tech fields. That is different careers that we can go into. Okay, as either a newbie or someone that is already into with maybe sorry, someone coming into it for the first time, which is a newbie, or someone that is not yet into tech at all, but considering taking a particular career in tech. Okay, so if you are just joining us, if you're on Facebook, please kindly switch to YouTube. Join us on YouTube, and if you joined us on YouTube, you can simply comment to, you know, let us know your presence. Okay, in the event. Okay, so now we're going to explore different career paths right now, and what we're going to look at, we're going to explore them, find out about what these careers, that's these fields, what these fields are. Okay, the role you are to play in these various fields. Okay, so and how you can, if you are already into it, how you can, you know, grow and advance your opportunities in that particular field. Okay, so we're going to talk about different fields. I want Mr. Miles to start by taking us some of the tech fields as we can see on our screen right now. So, Mr. Miles, can you please help us, give us the information about some of these tech fields? Now, what are the roles? If I'm to choose any of these tech fields now, what are the roles I'm going to play? Okay, as working as someone doing this particular thing. Okay, so Mr. Miles, you can speak to us.
All right. Thank you very much. Hope you can still hear me, please.
Yes, we can hear you very well.
All right. All right. Um, I'm sorry. Before I go into this some of the tech career examples on the screen, I want to add something to what Mr. Noble rightly said. Yeah.
Okay.
So for the new techies, I hope you just paid attention to what Mr. Noble said, because that first part is where you lay your foundation, whether you'll be a tech person or not. That's where it all begins, even before you get to this point. So please pay attention to that part. And one more thing I want to add to that one is I will tell you the hard truth. This is what I tell people anytime I go. I'm called for any seminar to talk to techies. Yeah, I tell them the hard truth because I won't want you to fail in your tech journey that you want to begin. Right. The thing you need to have at the back of your mind is first, tech is not for everybody, and tech is not child's play. That's the truth I want to tell you. So when you do your research, you ask your questions, and you look for mentors that can guide you through those your questions. That's when you solidify your foundation to be able to know that if I'm entering any career example you see on the screen, you'll be able to do well. Depending on if you do your homework in your research, knowing yourself and all of that. That's very, very important. That's where the tech journey begins, even before you get here. So I think I made that one clear. So speaking of the tech careers, yeah. The first one here is software engineering. So I don't know if most of you were here when I started. I touched on this things a little bit. But before I talk about the software engineering, I need to talk about the mobile development, web development, and UI UX before I can talk about software engineering. Because firstly, a software engineer is a person that knows the blueprint of how an entire product works, how it's being maintained, how it's being sustained, and everything concerning that product from start to finish, regardless of the domain involved in that product, right? When I say domain involved in the product, we'll have the front end guys, the back end guys, the DevOps, everybody. Yeah. The software engineer knows the blueprint from start to finish. So I won't talk about that one just yet. I will talk about the three briefly and I will summarize it with the software engineer. And I just hope that's
Yeah,
okay.
you can continue.
Right. So the mobile development, yeah, as the name sounds, is mobile development is a development of mobile applications. All these applications you see on your phone, Android, iOS, Microsoft phones, and the likes. Yeah. So these are the developers in this field are developers that have tailored their own personal development into developing just mobile applications. And there are a lot of tools that are used for this. Maybe subsequently, when we enter deep into this in a few days, we'll understand the tools needed for this. So, but the role of a mobile developer, I don't know if this point is the comprehensive of a whole mobile app or the fraction, Mr. Destiny. The guys developing the look and feel and the functionality. Are they all included in this mobile
Yeah,
development?
yes, sir. You can just talk about mobile development generally. For this segment, like I said earlier, we are not going deep into it. We're just highlighting because we have speakers on our subsequent days that will go deep in.
Okay. I'll elaborate more.
So you
Okay.
can just
Okay.
highlight
All right.
what they are. The major thing we need to know is what are the roles you play if you choose any of these fields.
Okay. Okay. All right. So for the mobile development, like I said before, the role of a mobile developer is just to make sure that the mobile apps they're developing are optimal according to the user's needs. That's just it. Yeah. You develop these applications according to user requirements and feedback and optimal performance. That's any person being in the mobile development role. That's what their day to day is, right? Developing new apps, constructing new designs, and making the app functional, smooth. Like for instance, now the WhatsApp you use on your phone. If that you're using WhatsApp one day, it begins to get so slow, so glitchy. All of us will be complaining and all that. So it's if that happens, is the bad job of a mobile developer. They didn't do the job well. So all the mobile apps that we're enjoying today that are so smooth, even our fintech apps, our banking apps that we used to do our transactions and just smooth, yeah, those are mobile developers that are handling those things and making our experience smooth, and we enjoy using the application. So that's the role. So web development is similar, but this one is just for the web, the www, right? So these guys are the guys that develop web apps, right? That function on the web, the www. Yeah, the web can be is into two parts, sharp. The white web and the dark web. So developers are also there for the dark web, but that's when the two will be talked in a deeper note. Yeah. So there are developers for web and on the two sides. Yeah. So the same thing with the mobile development, but this one is just for the web. When you go to a website, www.facebook.com, right? And you see an interface, you log in, it's working, all those functionalities and the look and feel you're seeing. Yeah, that's the work of the web developers, right? So for the UI UX, I call these guys the, apart from the product managers, yeah. I know I'm being biased here now, but I just need to say it because I work with this field almost every time. So these UI UX guys, I call them the engine room of any product. If they are not done, the mobile or the web, we are not doing anything. You get? So what these guys do is they sit with the owner of the product. Whatever is in their head, the UI UX guys bring it to life. And we call that the UI design. So those guys are the powerhouse. That's the foundation of every application. So what do they actually do? The design any website or any mobile application that you have seen and you've appreciated that, wow, this is looking good, you give it to the UI UX guys. They are the ones that design that beautiful look that you're seeing, right? They use a lot of tools like Figma, Adobe, the likes, they're a lot. Yeah. I work closely with them day to day, so I know what they do, right? So these guys, any website you go to, you open a website and you say, wow, this website looks good. Give it to the UI UX guys, right? What the web developers or the mobile developers do is take these designs and convert them into code. That's what we do, right? So the UI UX guys, I give it to them. They are the one that bring the idea to life. Then we convert into code and act on functionalities. So this mobile development, web development, UI UX is what comes together and brings the role of the software engineer, right? So the software engineer needs to have, let me not use need, must have an idea of what the mobile developer is doing, the web developer is doing, the UI UX guy is doing, right? To be able to know the blueprint of the start to finish of any application, be it mobile app or web app, right? So that's the key role of the software engineer. So if you're anticipating to be a software engineer when you're starting tech, it's not going to be possible. Let me just blow your mind because you need to test the waters of the start to finish of how the web works or of how the mobile device works and understand how these things work. Then you can be a software engineer. All right. So I think that I've highlighted a few. Then subsequent times when you are going in depth and all this, you know some other details like the tools being used, the perfect things to do, how to do it and do it well. Because, like I said initially, it's a lot. It's not child's play. So, what Mr. Noble said first, if you do that part correctly, that will build your foundation to be solid in one of these features. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very, very, very much, Mr. Miles. Okay, so if you are just joining us and you're on Facebook, kindly join us on YouTube. Okay, if you're on Facebook, kindly join us on YouTube using the link that I just pasted now. Okay. So if you're just joining us here on YouTube now, you can kindly just make a comment. Moses, I see you. You can kindly just make a comment and just give us some thumbs up, okay? So we're going to give rooms for questions at the end, towards the end of this broadcast, okay? So Mr. Miles have talked about software engineering, mobile development, web development, and UI UX development, okay? This highlights of the whole thing, and we're going to see in details as we proceed in this event, in the subsequent days to come, we're going to see in details each of these tech fields, their roles, the tools you're going to use to work in these different fields. Okay. So, Mr. Noble, you can simply, just also give us a highlight of some of the remaining ones that we have here briefly.
All right. Okay. Thank you once again. I believe we all are following. So first thing first, I will start with cyber security. Today cybersecurity is currently is one of the overhyped. I will call it one of the hyped um tech career recently. If you go to let's say if you're always on TikTok, cybersecurity and data analysis, they're one of the hyped courses career currently. Now, yeah, cybersecurity today is not that thing that than practice of protecting computer systems, networks, data from attacks, theft, and damages. Now, I would say even as a newbie that's not really started any career path, I would that's not really started any career in tech. I would still tell you that even though you've not started, but so far that you're on social media, you have a Gmail, you have a Google Mail, you have a social media account, I would tell you that already you're already practicing cyber security already, but without knowing you're already practicing cyber security. Now, why I'm saying this is as as someone that has Google account or you have social media handle, you do everything within your possible best to make sure that you protect your account. Now, one of them is trying to keep your password secretly without letting anyone have access to it. Some of you go to the extent of enabling two-factor authentication with so that even if somebody gets access to your password, they will need some sort of authorization before they gain access to your account. So with this already, you're already practicing the type of cyber security that is called endpoint security. So what is endpoint security? A user their maybe their smartphones, their social media account, their password, and maybe banking details and all the rest. So already you're an endpoint, you're practicing a type of cybersecurity that is called endpoint security. So today in cybersecurity, I'll just say that cybersecurity is majorly categorized into two parts, which you have the defensive security and we have the offensive security. Now, as a defensive security, as someone that's entering cyber security, you need to pick from these two. If you want to maybe venture into a defensive, being into defensive cyber security or offensive security. Now, as a in defensive cyber security, we have a lot of rules under this category, which one of them is network security. Now, network security most times is is out of implementing firewalls, maybe implementing detention or prevention systems on a particular network. Now, another one is endpoint security. Like I said, an endpoint security, majorly, it's endpoint security. It's the one that you do basically even without knowing. Okay, then also we have in let me just highlight some other what's it called? Some rules in some roles in defensive security. You can become a security analyst. Now, what do you do as a security analyst? You don't most times you don't even really need to know how to code to become a security analyst. What you just need is being what's it called, being so careful, like using your intelligence to be able to know, okay, if let's say, what and what do I do to protect, let's say if I have a Facebook account, what and what do I do to protect my Facebook account, which you go as far, maybe some of us will enable what's it called, two-factor authentication for, let's say, for both phone numbers. We enable for emails. Then also some of us also enable for maybe some of us use all these authentication app like Google like, like Google authentication. Now, another one another one is okay. Now, okay, let me just highlight some in defensive security. Now, as a defensive security, you can decide to that we can decide to venture into maybe becoming a penetration tester. Now, that is majorly what defensive security is all about. Now, in sorry, offensive security. In defensive security, what you do is you try to protect, you analyze, you try to protect and defend maybe issues from, let's say, attackers from venturing into your system. That's what you do. But now, some of in what's it called, offensive security. Offensive security, normally if you're into that role, you cannot practice that role without proper authorization, because once you try to practice and you get caught, automatically it's an illegal activity. So you need to get what's it called, you need to get some sort of authorization to be able to practice some rules in defensive security, which is penetration testing is one of them. Okay, I know whoever that in subsequent classes will go deep into these what's it called, into these career paths, so you'll be able to know the one that fits you. So what am I trying to say in summary? Cybersecurity is majorly a way to protect computer network systems, data, and servers from attackers. Now, the roles that we have here, we have security analysts, we have security engineers, we have SOC analysts, we have incident responders, we have cybersecurity consultants, and there are a lot of them. So when you're coming into the field of cybersecurity, you see that we have a lot of rules already. So it's just for you to pick the one you want to practice and you start. So it's very, very broad. I would say is kind of it's I would just maybe call it another broad course like software engineering, where you have both mobile developers, web developers, um UI UX designers and all the rest. So it's kind of broad. You just have to pick the one you want and you start practicing it. So another one here is QA testing. Now, this is very important. Every application that you see out there today, that you use very smoothly without any bug, or let me just say without errors today, properly, they pass through this career path. That is, they pass through this career. People in this career path usually work on those applications. Now, what I'm saying this is the major role in QA testing is that is quality assurance testing, is to be able to make sure that whatever a web developer or a mobile developer builds, it's within their responsibility, within their own domain to test this application to know if this application is working as expected. Now, some of them they go in terms of role, they have people that does security testing, they have people that does vulnerability testing, they have people that does functional testing, which they check that is the functions of this particular application if they are working properly or not. Then also they have people that just dictate and report and all the rest. So if you're trying to venture into this role, just know that majorly most times this role I would say it's still good that you know, let's say maybe even if you don't go deep into mobile development, web development, you just have a brief knowledge of it, a brief knowledge of it, so that you'll be able to test applications and you dictate if there is error on it or not. Then also both the user experience, like let me say applications like Facebook, what's it called, Instagram, TikTok that we use probably that we use very effectively today passes through um, this particular process, the QA testing, that's quality assurance testing. So, what's majorly in this career, to wrap up in this career, what this career is majorly all about is once a software engineer, let's say software developer, a mobile developer, or a web developer builds, your own responsibility or your own role is to test this application to make sure that this application is working effectively. Let's say if you're trying to maybe move, let's say transit, maybe let's say growth and potential within this particular domain, that is quality assurance testing, you can decide to maybe move into maybe cybersecurity work. Then,
Okay,
if you're moving into cybersecurity, you can be working as a security analyst or something like that. So, all right.
Mr. I can see the passion. I can feel it from here. The passion to continue to talk deeply into all these things. Okay,
All right.
I can see it, and we appreciate it very much. But like we said earlier,
Okay.
today we just be a highlight. So just
All
we would
right.
like you to give us the highlight of these rules so that we can move forward. We
All
have
right.
the 30 minutes remaining for this
All right.
today.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. So thank you. Thank you guys. I think within 10 minutes I should be able, or 5 minutes I should be able to round up. Okay. So here we have content writing. So in content writing today, it's if you're trying to, you're venturing into the career into content writing career. Okay, possibly what you're doing is what you do in this particular career path is still, let's say, this career path. If you're trying to transit into this career path, I would say, okay, maybe let it be that it should be for people that write already. Let's say you're kind of the people that have passion for writing, you're a storyteller, or maybe let's say you're a critical thinker or something like that. Then you just have passion for writing, then this particular career is for you. So possibly what you do here is you have this career path, you have different types of content writing. You have the people that write blog and article. The blog posts that you see today in different blog, when you search things on the internet and you see things pop up, like maybe you go to internet and you search, let's say, seven richest man in the whole world, and you see different search results and you click on any of them, those particular contents that you read are being written by content writers. That is blog posts or articles. So those things are articles that you read, and some of us you get your information from there. Then also we have people that does website content. Now these people is what they do, website content or copywriters. Now, when you go to a certain website, you you see different informations on the website. You read through, you go through them. This is the work of a website content writer, a copywriter. Now, some developers, some web developers has this they practice this career even without knowing, because most cases, they if you're building a website and you don't have content, it's expected that you fill up the content yourself. So we also have the social media content writers as a role, which on different social media platforms today, different pages, you see content. Those contents are being written by a social media content writer. Some of them you can call them a social media manager. Then also we have the technical writing role. Now, the technical writing role is they're majorly the people that, if you're into software engineering, let's say if you're into mobile app development, web development, and you have technical issues, you have issues with your code, let's say, or maybe you're trying to implement some certain APIs, and let's say you have issues when you go online, you search, you see some content that has code snippets embedded on them. That's the work of a technical writer. That's their role. So they write those content, those technical content, trying to explain some concept, some complex concepts in simpler terms for developers. Now we also have the SEO content role. So the what they do is that in their own role, they work with captions, they work with different words, keywords, to make sure that a particular content is ranking properly. As a content writer, you can be writing well, but at the end of the day, you find out that your content is not ranking properly. So this is the in content writing, this is a specific rule, the SEO, which means search engine optimization. Then we also have the creative writers. Then we have the marketing, that is email campaigns, which that's still a role in content writing. What they do is they write email campaigns to generate leads. So today, yeah, in your emails, you find out that you have different, what's it called? You have different emails coming up from different source. When you read it, you see some maybe good offers and you find it interesting, you click to move to their website. So that's the work of an email campaign writer. Okay. So I think let me not move forward. Let me not move further from here. So during maybe our next meetup, we talk more about we talk more on content writing. So the next thing is digital marketing. Now, digital marketing is a career path that, for me, I think everybody needs to have that skill. I don't know, but I think the digital marketing skill is something that, once you're a developer, you're into development, you're a cybersecurity, you're a web developer, you're a US designer, let's say a DevOps engineer. The digital marketing career is something you should look at. Now, you might not now how why do you even need it? Now, you need digital marketing career to be able to sell off yourself, to be able to sell yourself. That's when I mean sell yourself, you sell your skill to people. Now, today I've seen a lot of developers that is very, they cannot really, like, maybe be able to talk to someone that needs a website or an application one on one, and they be able to secure a deal directly. So most of them, they focus more on there is a focus more
Part of
on,
it.
let me just call it, on salary jobs. That is they just wait for employees to employ them, then they work with them directly. That is, those employees, they does the marketing by themselves. But for me, as a developer, as someone in tech, it's very good for you to at least develop, have that knowledge a bit, because most cases you might need to, maybe if you're into freelancing, you really need it. So what does a digital marketer do? They just create majorly what they do is they sell products. That is, they sell products to people either on via websites, on social media, and maybe via content and or SEO. So in digital marketing today has, I think, similar role with a content writer. That is, with content writing, they have similar role, because in digital marketing you do SEO marketing, you do email marketing, then yeah, you do social media marketing. Then most times you also do content management and system, which is CMS, where you work with tools like WordPress. Okay,
Okay.
so in summary, let me just summarize. In summarizing these two, um, as someone in tech, you just need little knowledge. Already, you have a little knowledge of cybersecurity. Then most cases you might work with some application and you find out that they have bugs. You go, maybe some of us go as far as going to maybe their websites, or maybe Instagram, sorry, let's say Google, the Google Play Store account, to write reviews of what's it called, of the issue or challenges we faced on those applications. Majorly, you're already practicing your quality assurance testing skill. Then some cases, okay, the content writing and digital marketing. So I think, let me summarize
Okay.
it for here so today. Let
Thank
me
you.
not go for it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. If we are to leave you, I believe you want to talk about the whole thing, and that is the passion, and that is one of the things we talked about. I don't know if you guys can still hear me. If you can hear me, please, you can simply comment that you can hear me. If you can hear me, can you guys hear me? So if you can hear me, kindly comment. Okay. So now let me just briefly talk about the rest. Okay, so that because of our time, we have the role of a project manager. Okay, so a project manager is simply someone that manages the entire project. Okay, like what everything we'll be talking about, a tech career, you are into tech, and Mr. Mice also told us earlier on that you have to solve a problem. Okay, so and if you've not started solving problems in tech, yeah, that means you've not started tech. Okay, so if we are trying to solve these problems, now each problem we bring in to solve, it can be a problem. It might not really be a problem, say problem, but whenever you're talking about creating a product, you understand, creating a product. Okay. Now, for this product that you're going to create, you're going to work with a team. Okay. You're going to work with a team, might not just be you that is building the product. Even if it's only you that is building this product, okay, there are certain things that you need to consider while building a product, like timeline. How long will it take me to build this product and finish it? Okay. Now, all these things are a job of a project manager. That means if you are a project manager, the roles that you are going to play as a project manager are simply, managing a project that involve probably developing a product from start to finish. Okay, managing the product, like or who are the people that will work on the project, okay? What is their role? What are they going to do? What is the timeline? Okay, so all these things are things that you need to consider as a project manager. So if you're a project manager, you have to do all these things. Okay, can you guys still hear me? If you can still hear me, please just type yes. If you can still hear me, just type yes. Okay, Mr. Nabo, can you hear me? Mr. Miles, can you hear me?
Yes, I can see you perfectly.
So now that is the work of a project manager in a nutshell. Like I said, because of our time, I'll just go through them. So, but what I just said in summary is for any product that you're trying to work on as someone in tech, it doesn't really matter if it's a product that involves development. Okay. So as long as it's a project that you're working on, okay. Now a project manager will have to track the entire project from when the project starts, how the planning, how they will actually carry out the project, the people that are going to work on the project, the roles they are going to play, the timeline that the project is going to take to complete. All those things are things that a project manager is going to carry out. Okay. Now for computer networking is simply a field where you are tasked with the role of creating computer network, in order to ensure data communication between different devices in an organization. Okay, it can be an organization, it can be just a little firm, it can just be within your environment, your room, or whatsoever. As long as you have the knowledge to connect multiple computers or computing devices, it might not just be a computer, it can just be any computing devices, like we have your mobile phones, your router, your switches. As long as you can connect all of them, that is the role of a computer network administrator. Okay. Now, it's actually deeper than that. It's actually deeper than that, but we're going to take, like I said, just a highlight of this whole thing. Okay. But I'll just have to point something very, very important in computer networking too, that have to do with creating major network and creating smaller network, which is called subnetting. Okay. Now, also, you still need to understand data communications. What are the rules of data communication? The data, the medium through which these devices are connected, then the protocol that these devices use to communicate, and how data move from a particular point in a network to the other. So these are things that, as a computer network administrator, you're supposed to know. Now, computer network administration in today's tech world is actually changing very rapidly. So it's very, very important I also highlight this, because most computer network administrators you're going to see now are currently also into cybersecurity. Okay, there's like when Noble was going into cybersecurity deeply, he made mention of something called network security. So most people that are doing networking these days, they are also into network security, because you cannot say, okay, you are trying to connect network without thinking about the security that is involved in that network connection. Okay, so if you want to go into that career, you should also know that the major thing is not just all about data communication. Now we also have network security, which is very, very important in the tech world of today if you're going into computer networking. Okay, so talking about DevOps engineering is just like an extension of software engineering, like Mr. Miles actually explained to us earlier on, that when you talk about software engineering encompasses all the process for developing a software. That means from the planning stage, which are the UI UX designers and prototypes, to the implementation stage, which are the developers, whether it's a mobile application or a web application, then to the testing, just to make sure that the application is running very well. If you guys can still hear me, Mr. Noble, can you hear me? And Mr. Mice, can you hear me? So that I know that I'm still talking
Yes,
to
I
my
can hear
audience.
you. Yeah.
So, but like I said earlier, when we say DevOps, it's just like bringing software engineering and adding some things to it. Okay, that means a DevOps engineer is a software engineer with uh, uh, more power, should I say, more task, more things to do. Okay, like the word DevOps, development and operations. Okay, the development aspect of it is where the software engineering comes in. Why the operation partner is like an extension to it. Now that operation part have to do with managing infrastructures that these things are going to work on. Like for a software developer, a software engineer, for instance, now you are concerned about the whole thing from the planning to how the software is developed, but it's not the job of a software engineer to, tell or manage which server this software is hosted on. How is it hosted? How are they making sure that the software is running properly? If there are glitches in the software, because definitely a software is not it's never complete. Let me put it that way. Because if a software is actually complete, we will not be having updates every day. As we are speaking right now, Facebook or WhatsApp or even YouTube that we're using right now is still updating. Okay, so if the software is complete, they will not update. Now, how will they know what to update? How will they know if a glitch comes in? And how will they tackle the glitch? So that even if the software is live, the people that are using the software would not know that, okay, there's something happening. What they just know is, okay, they published a new version of it. These are the work of software DevOps engineers, okay? So DevOps engineer manages the server. Apart from the work of a software engineer, they also manage the infrastructure, which have to do with the server and the rest. Now, we have a DevOps engineer that will be talking to us tomorrow, and that person will go deep into it and tell us all the tools that they use in carrying out these operations. Okay, so I'll stop there for DevOps engineer. The data analysis is simply someone that source for data, then kind of arrange the data and manage the data. Okay, so for instance, when we talk about data in question now, we can say, okay, all of us that are here in this life now, we can say, okay, this is the data, this is the number of people that are alive. Okay, please, can you guys just give me a second, please? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you very well.
Yes, I can hear you.
So just please give me a second, just a moment. Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'm very sorry for that. Okay, so I was actually talking about data analysis. Okay, the roles of a data analyst. So a data analyst is someone that source for data, analyze this data using different tools, okay, to analyze data, then, read the meaning from the data and possibly use them uh, for prediction, okay. Like for instance, there are some companies that can hire a data analyst and say, okay, for some time now, these are our sales that we've made so far. Okay. Now this is the sales for this week, or these are the sales for this week. These are the sales for last month. These are the sales for last year. You understand? So for a data analyst, your job now, when they give you this data, or sometimes you might be tasked with that particular task to go collect the data. Now, when you collect this data, you're going to store this data in a particular database. Okay, so for a data analyst, you have to know how to collect data, the tools that will be used to collect data. Then you have to understand different database on how you can store this data, because when you collect this data, you're going to store them. And most of these database, most of them are controlled using different programming languages or data languages that as a data analyst, is your job to know these particular tools and languages. It might not really be a programming language. It can just be some certain tools that we are going to use. Okay. Now, when you store this data, you are going to analyze them. When you analyze them, like the instance I was giving, if they give you a sorry, guys, can you guys still hear me?
Yes, I can. I think you're having some network issues.
Yes. No,
Yes, I can.
okay, okay, can you hear me now, right?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay. So, like I was saying, so this data analysts, they will be the one to collect data, manage them, and interpret them, and put them to use where they will be needed. Okay. So in our subsequent meetings, we're going to be talking about data analysis in details. Okay. So just because of time, I will go to the next segment, which will be the need for education, okay, and training, okay, if actually it is actually needed, okay. So I don't know, for our viewers, if you are still with us, can you please, just comment, so that we know that you are with us. Okay, so need for formal education or informal education or any kind of education, okay, is it really necessary? That is the question here, okay. Is it really necessary? Now, for my opinion, for you to be someone in tech, it's not a must that you have a formal education, because you can you can pick any career in tech and you practice it without going to have any form of education. Sorry, excuse me. I'm having some technical challenges here. Okay, so I'm very, very sorry for some of these technical challenges I'm having. If you're still with me, please just comment, I hear you. Comment, I hear you, so that for our viewers, please comment, I hear you. Okay, so very sorry for these technical challenges that I'm actually having now. Okay, so comment, I hear you, please comment, I hear you, so that I know that yes, we are still together. For our viewers, please. Okay, uh, for our guest speakers, can you still hear me?
Yes, sure. I can hear you very well.
Okay, so I'm
Yes.
very sorry for this. Okay, so in like I was saying about the need for education, is it a must? No, but is it necessary? That depends. Okay, so in my opinion, formal education is not actually needed for you to start any tech career at all. because you can, as long as you can read and write, as long as you can read and write, you can go into any tech career of your choice. Okay. Now, but there are some tech career that you want to go into that will require at least a level of education from you. Okay. Now, it's always advisable if you are opportune, you should acquire a formal education. Okay, you should acquire a formal education whenever you're looking into going into tech. Okay, not just tech. Most of the things you want to do in life, formal education is actually needed. Okay, but for in tech, it's good if you can get a degree in any tech related field from a higher institution. Okay, now let me just give an example of my personal experience. Okay, now there are some places that I've applied for jobs. Okay, now when I apply for job, there are other people that applied for the same position. Okay, now when all of us applied for this job, now, the first thing they are going to look at is what can we do? That means the skills. Okay. Now, the skills is the most important thing that will land you any job that you want to get in IT. Okay. Now, but where the formal education will now come, if I'm talking about a corporate setting now, when we are talking about working with organization, okay, now because we have different ways we can work as a tech person. You can work in an organization, in a formal setting, a corporate organization, or you can work as a freelancer. Okay, so I'm talking about if you intend to work with an organization. Okay, now where they will place you in that organization most times will be determined by the level of education you've acquired. Okay, the level of education you've acquired. So because of that now, even though it is very, very possible for you to go into any tech and excel, any tech field and excel, it is a plus if you can get a formal education and add to your CV. Okay. Then apart from that, now there are some parts that you go to that require you, like when we talk about technical writing, we talk about like documentation. Though we did talk about documentation, but documentation is part of the things that you can actually do as engineer a software engineer, or even a DevOps. Sometimes you do documentation, or project manager sometimes do documentation. Now, if uh, there are certain level of education you're supposed to have to be able to do proper documentation in terms of documentation. Now there are just hitting on documentation, but it's not only documentation. There are a lot of things that you're going to do in tech that requires that formal education. So even though, in a nutshell, wrapping it up now, in a nutshell, even though it's not a must that you have a formal education to excel in tech, it is needed to an extent. It's a plus. So if you can have it, if you are privileged to have it, or I'll advise you, you have that education because it's going to help you one way or the other. Okay. Now, this, apart from acquiring this formal education, now currently learning from alternative, apart from going to school to you know because in schools you can go to school, you can be a software engineer, you can learn software engineering as a discipline in school, and most of all these things that we're talking about, you can acquire them in school. But most times there are alternative learning platforms or learning paths that you are supposed to take, that will give you a better, let's say, uh, experience or better knowledge of what all this we'll be talking about, all this since we started this event now, all this is we'll be talking about. There are different platforms that you can get them from, which is you can talk about Coursera or Udemy, which are the most popular platform. So even if you don't have a university degree, or you didn't have the privilege to go to university, with these platforms you can get any You can get information about any tech field that you intend to go into, and you also excel in it. Okay, you can also attend boot camp, tech events, and also use platforms that can certify you as a tech person, like Coursera, for instance. You can take a course in Coursera, and they'll give you a certificate at the end of the day. Okay, so it is very, very important. All these learning processes is very, very important. As someone coming into tech, you actually need to explore these different forms of learning, and learning would not stop. Okay, even if you are a professional in any field you are into, you still continue to learn, because in IT, the different field, or IT in general, keeps evolving. Okay, it keeps evolving, because currently, like, just like if you learn computer basics, there's what we call generation of computer. Now in IT also we have generations, and currently now we are in what they call the fourth industrial revolution, which is the using AI and Internet of Things and other technology. And it will not be a surprise in the next 5 years, or the next 10 years to come. All these things that we are discussing might be obsolete. That means actually discuss them this way again, because they might be evolving rapidly every day. So there is need for continuous learning, whichever way, whether formal or informal, or using any of these alternative platforms. You are into, or that thing you are interested to go into. Join communities like that. We have a lot of communities on LinkedIn. We have a lot of community on Facebook. You can just look for any of these communities, then join, then ask them questions, and attending to your questions. Okay. Now we have conferences from there. Okay. Now also, I think one of our speakers talked about that. You need to attach yourself to someone that is an expert in that particular field you are into, or that field you want to go into. That is just that. Now, these are other important concepts that you also need to consider when starting a tech career. Okay, so I want a Noble to please touchlight some of all these things. That is, talk more on them, throw light on them. The few of them. Let Mr. Miles throw light on few of them. Let's just make this brief so that we can end this event, because tomorrow is another day. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, bro.
Okay. So if Mr. Noble is not present, Mr. Miles, you can throw light on some of all this. Okay, so that we just proceed.
All right. These concepts are here. Okay, Mr. Noble is here now, so you can give
Uh,
up.
all right, sorry. I think I didn't know that I was muted. Okay,
Okay.
so Yeah, so I think one of the things we have here is market demand and salary prospect. Yes, for every career today has it's good you make research about the market demand of any particular career you want to venture into as a newbie, and also check the salaries prospect, so that this will help you at least in as much as you're trying to pick a career that that you have passion for and that you have interest in. Knowing the market demand and the salary prospects will also help to shaping your mind on you're to what you're to expect. Let's say in years to come, when you must have let's say gotten maybe some of the knowledge you need, or when you're ready to work. Okay, so it's very advisable you just know the market demand for each of these career, both the international market demand and also the local market demand. So that if you're opportune to have an international job, very okay. If you're targeting the local market, also it's expected that you know their demand and their salary prospect. That is the expected salary for any of the tech career that you want to venture into. So moving to next, which is work-life balance. Yes, today I would say in this part of this part of the world, we don't really I would say we don't really value work-life balance. We usually work all around I think work around the clock. Okay, so in most cases, if you're it's still good for you to at least know how the work-life balance in terms of both delivery flexibility, work hours, and then remote culture. Because now, if you're targeting the international market, different countries has their work hours, which doesn't rhyme with what we have here, and also they have their different remote cultures, which is not doesn't work with what we do here. So it's still good you make researches based on this. So know the different work hours in those countries, know how flexibility their work hours is, then also in most cases understanding pressure of deadlines in projects. That is very important. You know, as a developer, having a project deadline in mind and working to make sure that you meet up before the deadline, it's one thing that every person in tech should have develop that mindset of being able to deliver whenever you're being called on a project, and not just delivering but trying to meet up before the deadline, so that this will not just help you yourself alone. It will also help people help some of the people that you've worked with to maybe recommend you to other people, because let's say when you work with a particular company and they know that this person does his job properly and he delivers on time, trust me, if they have subsequent projects, they would like to call you. Now, thirdly, we have portfolio and experience building. Now, as someone that is starting career in tech, one of the mistakes I will still say today that I made when starting my tech career was not building starting up let's say building my career, building my portfolio when I started. So I had to wait for the thing was that I didn't actually know much about this. So I had to wait for till when I got to a particular stage where I feel yes, I can handle almost 80% project that can come my way. Then I started building my portfolio, my LinkedIn, and my portfolio. That is portfolio in general. Okay, so it's very good as somebody that's just starting your tech career. It's still good to at least have this at the back of your mind. Start building your portfolio. Number one, um, what is it called? Also, that is building your portfolio. Both that is some personal projects. Now, also contributing to open source projects is very very important. There are a lot of open source projects there that you can contribute on as a newbie. Now, contributing to this open source will also help both you in experience and also in recognition. Now, if your commitment is very okay, some people you might get maybe recruiters to maybe hire you from just those little contribution. Then also volunteer for internship. Try to maybe look for one or two places that you can do internship. Now, what internship will do for you is that it will help you understand working culture. Because if you're working with, let's say you're working with a proper standard organization, you understand the culture at which they work and other industries. That was one of the things that today I would say is one of the things that helped me a lot. Because I've seen developers that has the same years of experience with me, and but when it comes to working as an organization, like working to meet up with organization standards, they cannot really compete because I've been able to at least work with different organization. A lot of starting it up was just, what we are doing then at Programmer City. It was just like us trying to, it's just not even really serious projects then. They were just projects within us. But you see us there, we try to work as an organization to meet up organization standard using Slack, different tools to communicate and all the rest. And trust me, when I when I started working with commercial um companies, that is organization, I saw that those knowledge, like a lot of the things that we are doing there were things that I knew already. So one of the ways that you can have this experience is is through internship, because it's very hard for you to, as maybe as a developer that just started, maybe an organization will just hire you. It's very very common, but through internship you should be able to build up this experience within yourself and also add up those internship experience to your portfolio, and trust me, you're ready to go. Then another thing is certification. Try as much as possible to take some courses that has certification. Then also let those certification be part of your portfolio. Add them, organize them, add them in your portfolio. If maybe today you stumble on a course on Udemy, maybe you just, no matter how little the course is, try to complete that course, generate the certificate, add it up. Now, if somebody comes to, maybe you apply for a job and they go through, let's say, your portfolio, and maybe go through some of those certificates, they might find, okay, this person, because this person has, they might not, like, it's just like you now, maybe doing let's say basic let's say fundament a basic cybersecurity course. It might not really be a professional one, but when they see that certification, that's okay, this person did maybe 3 or let's say 24 hours boot camp on Udemy on cybersecurity. Already that particular job might not really be related to cybersecurity. It might just be a development job, let's say web development. But because you had this experience, you see that is an added advantage to your portfolio, because they know that somebody that has been able to do this, at least when it comes to in terms of security, they should be security conscious while building. So I think this is all I have to say on this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's
All right, Mr. Noble, thank you very much for that
All right, thank you.
explanation. Yeah. So for the fourth one on the list, specialization versus generalization. Okay. For the last people I trained in full stack web development, there was a question I asked them after the training. I asked them, okay, we are done with the training, and you can do this and that. You can deploy your front end, you can deploy your back end. And I asked them a very important question. So, if you're CEO of a company now, can you employ yourself with your full chest? I didn't get any response. So that's when I knew that they don't understand what they're doing. So, specialization versus generalization. Yeah. If you're a newbie, you there's a tendency for you to fall into the trap of generalization in the sense that now that you are getting into tech, there's a lot of noise, I must say. On YouTube, everywhere, there's a lot of noise. Yeah, you need to do this. This is what is in for 2025. This is what you should be doing now. This is this. That there's a lot of noise. Yeah, and if you're not the person that did your research and your foundation is strong, you'll be carried away by the noise and you'll want to do everything and be a master of none. Yeah. So it's good to focus on one part. Yeah. As somebody going into tech. Yeah. Let me say, for instance, you're going into programming. Yeah. Let's say JavaScript, for instance, and you understand how programming works because there's a difference between learning programming and learning a programming language, right? These are two different things. Yeah. So if you understand, if your foundation is strong and you understand programming, how those instructions, yeah, when you're good in one language, it will be very easy for you to pick up another one. So that brings to the foundation. You need to be specialized in a particular area. Don't take yourself all over the place and want to do everything at the same time because honestly, you won't go anywhere. So it's better for you to focus on one part, understand that part very well, be a master of that. Then, when you're comfortable in that area, you can add other things to that. Yeah. So the last part, soft skills in tech. You see this um, there's a lot of issues with this part. If you're into tech deeply, yeah, when it comes to this part, we always get tired of this part because one of the soft skills of this part is any tech person wants to write codes. That's all we know. Solve problems, get it done, do the logic, think about it. But when it comes to we are writing the report, we want to submit to the project manager, this, that. Man, that's so tiring. But it's very necessary. All right. You can be just a tech person. You're not going to be working with yourself all the time. Yeah. You work with companies, you have clients, if you're a freelancer, you work with a lot of platforms depending on where you're in. So you need to do some paperwork. Yeah. And you need to talk, or you need to explain some things to people. You need to talk the tech talk. Yeah. You need to make them understand that you know your stuff. So that's where your communication comes in, your soft skills like arranging your documents, presenting your reports, telling them how the product you're about to build or what they want you to build is going to work. You need to give them things, and all these things are embodied in soft skills. Yeah, it's tiring, but it's very necessary that we have these skills. If not, you have the skill to build the application or whatever you're going to build, but you don't have the soft skills to communicate what you want to do. Most of the time when you're a person that wants to go into tech deeply, yeah, there's what we call when we want to go and bid for projects. Yeah, a lot of developers will come, companies, individuals will come, will go to a company that is inviting people to come and bid for their project to know who is the best for it. Yeah. If you don't have these soft skills, man, you're not going to get any contract. Yeah. So you need it to this point. I think you can understand what specialization versus generalization and your soft skills are that you need, very important in the tech.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
So thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much. So the last thing we're going to talk about, okay, we spent extra 30 minutes into this event. So I'll just, take a brief, just explain some of all these possible challenges briefly myself so that you can, rest for today and see how tomorrow is going to look like. And so far, so good. I want to thank all of you that have joined us here on YouTube Live. Those of us that joined on Facebook that are later switched to YouTube. I want to thank all of you for joining. Um, I want to also thank our guest for helping us to explain in details some of these things that we need to know about different tech careers and how to, go into them. Okay. So now these are some of the possible challenges that you face when you are coming into a tech career or you are into it already. Okay. Now, one of the most important challenge is learning. Okay. Now, uh, from my experience so far as a trainer, because I have been training for more than a decade, I've been training people for more than a decade for on different IT fields. Okay. Now, one of the challenges people have is learning. Okay. Now, this learning challenge might come in different angles, may come from different angles or different ways. Okay. And one of them is something that our speaker, Mr. Noble, talked about the need. Why are you coming to learn that particular tech? Is it for money or is it for maybe a personal gain? And maybe sometimes when you, okay, let me just specify it to something using an example. Now, there are some people that will just come into a particular tech field and say, okay, because I heard that there's money in it, I want to go into it without your proper investigation, proper research on what you should know about that particular tech field. Okay, just like everything we've been talking about, if you don't do those things accordingly, if you don't research about that tech field, you don't know what and what is involved in it. You don't know how to, start it. And okay, you might know how to start it, but you don't know the things that you're going to face in it. You don't have someone like a mentor that you talk about. Learning will be a challenge. Okay, there are a lot of people that are just okay. Maybe when I go into this, I'm going to take 3 months only to learn this thing and be perfect in it and start making money from it, or maybe I'm thinking of something else. Maybe I'm traveling to a different environment where I can you know use my skill. Okay, so I just have maybe 3 months to learn this thing. Sometimes you find out that that 3 months might not be enough. You understand? So because take web development, for instance, as a web developer. Now, I've had people that have come to me that, okay, I don't like to code, but I want to be a developer. That simply means that that person did not make proper research because you cannot be a web developer without writing programs. You understand? And this is where learning comes to. This is where learning becomes very difficult. Okay, and if you look at that now, you maybe you go into it, you face some of all these difficulties, you face the time challenges. You are not making what you are supposed to, make out of it in the estimated time that you gave to yourself. This will retard you and probably make you neglect that particular career. Okay, so A possible way to tackle this is the process of learning. When you're learning any tech career, you should first of all, like what we've been discussing, make proper research, know what and what is in that particular tech field that you're going into before you go into it. Don't just go into anything, don't just start learning anything without actually making proper research and you know knowing it very well. Another thing again, you must talk to a mentor. You must have a mentor that you talk to. Okay. Now going into the other part, which is freelancing or corporate organization. If you want to work as a freelancer or you want to work in a corporate organization, like the employed an organization, okay. Now there are different challenges that comes with this, okay. Like starting with from freelancing, okay. If you are a freelancer, like our speaker Noble talked about, you need to have this skill, digital marketing skill, even if it's not a full blown digital marketing skill. At least you should have the basic minimum skills to market yourself. Because a freelancer, any skills that you are good at, you have to market it in such a way that people will see it and contact you to do jobs for them. Okay, let's take for instance, if you want to do freelancing, some of the popular platforms that you can you can use for freelancing. We talk about Upwork, we talk about Fiverr. Okay, now most of all this is, let me take Upwork for instance. If you sign up with Upwork, you're going to, set up your portfolio, and your portfolio will have to do with now things you've done, the jobs you've done, just like we've talked about portfolio also in this meeting. Okay, so that portfolio is what anybody that wants to give you a job in those freelancing platforms will look at and see if you're fit to take the job or not. Okay, and to make it worse, a lot of people just like you would also be there to bid for the same job, the same gig you're going for. Okay, so they look at all your profile, anyone that suits it. Okay, that person is the person they take. Okay, so this is a challenge with freelancing. Now, in terms of corporate organization, one of the instances that was made by Mr. Mice, which is in terms of the soft skills. These are some of the things that you're going to need working as as a team member in a particular team in an organization, okay, an IT organization. Okay, so if you don't have these skills, you find yourself having issues working with a team or working as a team member in the organization. Okay. Now, these are just like instances that I mentioned. There are lots of other challenges that we can talk about, whether working as a freelancer or working in a corporate organization. But the major thing I want anyone to look at is the positive aspect of this whole thing. Okay. Now, if you want to go into any tech career, okay, now, these are two ways you can use that tech career to make a living for yourself. Okay, you can either work as a freelancer, you can either work with an organization. Okay, so as a freelancer, you just have to follow all the advice that you will be given from the beginning of this event. Okay, from the beginning of this event, you will be given certain advice that you have to follow when starting a tech career. So if you follow these advices, okay, you're going to excel in freelancing. Okay, then if you also want to work with a team in an organization, you're also going to excel if you follow this advice. Okay, so um, the last thing there is starting a personal venture is also a very good one, but a lot of challenges are tied to this as well. Okay, and I'll just highlight a few of them so we conclude for today. Okay, now the major challenge is Nigeria. Okay, if you are in Nigeria, the major challenge is Nigeria, and we are hoping that the Nigeria will be better for all of us. Okay, now why I say the major challenge is Nigeria is starting a business and uh, managing the business to make it thrive in our Nigeria economy right now is very, very difficult. So if you want to start your personal venture, which is a very, very good way to, excel in any tech career that you choose, because there are a lot of people, there are a lot of my students that will say, okay, after learning, I'll just, start a software company and, proceed from there and make a living out of it. Okay. Now, if you want to excel with that, if that is your dream to start a personal career, you should try to first of all understand the factors that will hinder you in your personal venture. Okay. Now, when I say Nigeria, there are a lot of factors that are related to Nigeria. Now, one of those factors is the power. Another factor is network, your data, your network strength, whatever you're doing, because you cannot do any tech career right now without the use of internet. Okay, I know internet is one big problem in some areas in Nigeria, and also power is another big problem in Nigeria. So if you know this, I'm just highlighting these two. Okay, there are other challenges that you face starting your own venture, but these two are I can say the most challenging two. Okay, now if you have the funds, if you have the resources, to make sure that you have alternative power supply that will not rely on the power distribution companies. That is a very good way to start your own venture. Yeah, another thing again is if you can get good proper internet connection to run your business. If you can get these two together, you are on the right track in excelling your personal venture, starting your own business. And I assure you, you're going to thrive. Okay. So this is where we wrap up the program for today. I know we didn't plan to spend much time, but we're already here, and I want to thank you all that stayed with us to the end of this program. Tomorrow we are going to be talking about UI UX design and DevOps engineering. Okay, so I'm going to see you tomorrow by 7 p.m. West African time. And before we go, I must thank our guest speakers for today. The person of Mr. Mais Odiaze, I thank you very, very much for staying with us and agreeing to explore this tech careers, starting a tech career with us. Thank you very much for uh, the opportunity to
Thank
hear
you
you.
so much. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
you can still talk about your organization, and though I think I'll do that later, but you can still tell us that are available here now. About your organization and how to reach out to you just briefly.
Okay, it's not about an organization. I actually work for a tech company in Port Harcourt here, and I do a lot of things, building apps, trainings, and a lot. It's a whole lot. So um, that's what I do for now. But personally, my own company, I am not like Mr. Destiny that can carry stuff, or Mr. Noble. That luxury of time, I don't have it. So I'm more of providing solutions for companies. Yeah, for
Oh,
now. Yeah,
okay. Okay.
yeah.
Thank you very much. Well,
When I want to rest, I can think of becoming Mr. Destiny.
no problem. So I believe you are open to mentorship because we'll be talking about mentoring techies, newbies. Okay, so I hope you are open to mentoring because we are going to actually, you know, advise some people if they are if they are, close to you, they can come for mentoring. Hope you're open for that.
Yeah, that would be cool, and I hope time permits me to say one or two things to some people when the time comes. Yeah, that is cool. It's a way of giving back to the community. Now we've all benefited from the community, though we started when things were difficult, Mr. Destiny. It's not now that everything is on ChatGPT and back and call. We started when things were really rough. Yeah, so it's cool.
Okay. So thank you very, very much. It's a privilege to have you here today. So, Mr. Noble, I think Mr. Noble have left us. Okay. So, Mr. Noble is the CEO of Light Results. Okay. So, if you are still in Port Harcourt and you're looking for someone to, or somewhere to, do physical training, you can visit Light Results in Port Harcourt, in Junction. Also, I think Mr. Noble is also open for mentorship. Okay. So that is it for today. Thank you all for joining in. I'll see you all tomorrow.
All right, thank you very much. It was nice having you. Thank you.